Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. It's Thursday, it's Littleport, it's Chateau del Nick, Boudoir del Brown, and it's time for some spiritual upliftment, enlightenment, joy, and love as we gather together this day, the 24th of June. And I'd like to briefly begin by saying a very personal little message. I'd like to ask everyone to gather around and give a big happy birthday to my great niece, Grace, who was 2 years old yesterday. I cannot believe it. She makes me feel old, and she's already got a better grasp of the English language than I have. But there we are. That's not too difficult, I am told, especially when you're trying to correct my grammar and spelling. Isn't that right, Reverend Lynn? But no, I jest. But no, you don't need to nod. I was joking, love. But no, seriously, friends, thank you all for joining us here this Thursday evening. I know it's going to be a wonderful evening because tonight our guest, a medium, is a good friend of Littleport. He's been with us numerous times, and we always look forward to his visits. So let's get straight on with it. Excuse me. I told you my grasp of English is bad. Excuse me. Let's get straight on with it, my friends, as we welcome up to the platform the good and one and only David. Are you there?
I am. Good evening, everybody. Hi.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for this very warm welcome, I have to say. Very incredible. Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. And you're always welcome. I think the first time you came to us, I actually said, you're stuck with us now. You're part of the family. And I mean that, you know, and this is one of the reasons why with the online services we've grown quite a big family, actually, and it's lovely to be able to reach out to many people, and they're coming with us when we go back into the hall, of course. I will find a way. I'm almost finished sorting it, so that would be great. But what have you been up to, young man?
Well, that's the most difficult question ever. It's like, I think I'm praying that everything is easing off now. I think everybody is a bit tired, but we're nearly there. Just got my last vaccination or second vaccination yesterday.
Yes.
I was praying that it didn't hit me as it did the first time, which was really bad. And it wasn't just the man flu, by the way. So, ladies, I was really so, but so far, touch wood, everything is okay. So we'll see what life brings. But I think it would be nice to be back in person, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. And I understand as we were discussing yesterday, I understand your nervousness. I had my second jab on Saturday, and it didn't impact me in the same way the first one did, except my arm was sheer agony for like 3 or 4 days. It's only just started easing off. Everyone says that was my excuse to get out of housework, but I always find one of them, so I don't need to use the vaccine for that. But seriously though, David, thank you for coming on, and I'm glad to see that it didn't kick you like it did the first time round.
No,
I know exactly what you feel. It certainly wasn't man flu. But then there would be those that argue that I can't catch that anyway. So there we are.
Well, we're actually lucky ones because they said it only hits the young ones. So I'm so sorry for everybody who is older. So we have an advantage for once.
Absolutely. Certainly is. Well, now then, what time is it, my friends? We are now 6 minutes and 43 seconds into the service. I think it's time to have our first speaker of the evening. So good luck, everybody. Be brave, be bold, be spiffing, because now we're going to invite onto the platform, and I don't have to mute her anymore. It's only taken 18 months. Ladies and gentlemen and friends, let's welcome up on stage. It's Reverend Lynn. Are you there, dear?
I am.
Yay.
Yes. Good evening to you.
Good evening. And I can actually talk to you now without worrying about hearing myself.
Yes, but you mustn't interrupt, Reverend Nick.
Of course.
Only when it's absolutely necessary, of course.
Of course.
For the purposes of propriety.
Yes.
And I take exception to you saying that you wouldn't get man flu. Why not? You know, this male-female thing, you know, it's quite a question, isn't it? And we can now, I heard somebody might call out non-binary when someone was singing for She's a Jolly Good Fellow at my recent birthday celebration. So I
for
thought,
they
yeah,
are, shouldn't it be, for they are a jolly good
people.
non-binary individual.
Persons, yes. You see, I knew you were going to interrupt me.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time since I could, to be fair. The disadvantage of the echo is that I had to mute myself as well.
Yes, and the thing is that when we talk about, oh my goodness me, I'll turn that off. I'm sorry. I've dropped their call, which was rather rude of me, but you know, in the interests of the greater good, yes. I was going to say that you know, it was a well-known, perhaps a myth, that it was only gay men who were sensitive enough to become mediums, and of course that's actually nonsense, because you know, male or female, whatever we are, we can possess the same kind of sensitivities as each other. And the fact is that there's a kind of social conditioning that goes with gender that starts really from the cradle. You know, when little boys fall over, they're told to just not bother. You know, don't worry about that. Pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and carry on. Whereas if a little girl falls over, she'll be picked up and made a fuss of, and there. You know, don't worry about that. So it's a kind of conditioning, isn't it, into that sort of mindset, if you like, a physical mindset. So I don't really think that you have to be gay to be a good medium, or any sort of medium, although I suppose we could say it helps.
Yeah.
And maybe that's true of women too. You know, even sort of women like me, who might be perceived as sort of erring towards the boyish side of gender descriptions. Would that make me less sensitive? Don't think so. So I think that really we can say that everybody can be a medium, you know, whatever their gender or their sexual orientation, and regardless of the way in which they were brought up, you know, the social conditioning side of it. Because let's face it, we're all spirit, you know, regardless of the bodies that we inhabit. And we come from spirit, and it's spirit with whom we commune when we're doing our mediumship. So really and truly, if you think about that, you know, it doesn't matter, does it, if a telephone is pink or blue, yellow or white, you can still speak on it and then use it as an exchange. And that's really, I think, what we all are. And the thing about mediumship is that you can't always get messages for yourself that are very helpful. You know, I know that there are many mediums who worry because they seem to sort of not be able to get something for themselves. But I think that that's a blessing, to be quite honest. You know, the old strictures are definitely rooted in the truth. You know, when people use cards, when people use other sort of divination tools on a psychic level to get information about their future, or what route they should take in life at any particular juncture of it, it's always been said that you should never ask for yourself. You should actually consult somebody else who is adept, who can actually ask on your behalf. Because if you ask for yourself, you may get, you know, not a very good answer, shall we say. And that's something that has been passed down to all of us from a lot of people from the time immemorial, that really we shouldn't expect to get good messages for ourselves as mediums if we ask for ourselves. And sometimes I suppose we are driven to asking, but I feel that the admonition to let the future take care of itself, give it to God, is something that mediums ought to take notice of and not be asking for themselves. But of course, if you get somebody asking you for themselves, then I think it's perfectly okay to sit for them on their behalf. And they may be very worried about a situation or a condition, and to get some answers for them. And I feel that as long as you are getting good spirit in order to ask these questions of them, you will get decent answers. You will get correct answers, which I've seen. But I know that there are mediums who, have been through quite a lot themselves, and who feel perhaps that they're lacking in some way because they feel that they don't have this sort of personal link to someone who can help them in spirit, but about themselves. But I think that sometimes it's a good thing for mediums, if they are in that kind of predicament, to actually ask a fellow medium if they wouldn't mind asking on their behalf. And I don't think that money enters into it either, not when it's between friends. And the thing about mediums is that we have got lots of friends who are mediums, aren't they? I can count many mediums among my friends, and going back for donkey's years, and I'm sure that any one of them, if I was really stuck for an answer for something that was, personal, I could ask them to inquire on my behalf. Having said that, of course, I've been so used to people asking me questions that I do tend to ask my lot what's going on. If they don't want me to know, they just keep quiet. And I think that's also an indication for other mediums who feel that they might not have that particular link. It's just that our friends in spirit choose not to tell us, because sometimes it's best not to know what's ahead, because you might balk at some of the enormity of it. And even if they tell you that it's going to be all right eventually, you might not actually want to approach the actual problem or the mountain that you're going to have to climb in advance. So I think sometimes ignorance is bliss, and those on the other side will not tell us. And similarly, I've seen people inquire of mediums about different things, and they've had to be told, well, actually, they're not giving an answer. And it doesn't mean to say that the future is bleak or it's a bad thing, that's why they're not getting an answer for themselves. It's just that, those in the world of spirit think to themselves, well, they really ought to trust in the good and step forward and be confident in the belief that they have, in the knowledge that they have, that those in the spirit world are going to help them, and just step forward, knowing that. And of course, people who follow particular religious pathways, like we do ourselves, they may like to put their hand in the hand of the man who walked on water in the Gillion, on Lake Kinneret, aka the Sea of Galilee. And that makes you feel good. And I would suggest that whoever somebody feels trust in, they should actually go forward knowing that whoever it is will be with them. We don't have the sole prerogative, the sole use of august and spiritual persons in the world of spirit. Jesus is one such, Yeshua, but there are others, spiritual leaders who would put their hand in that of their followers and look after them in just the same way, I'm sure. So that's the other thing, isn't it? That mediums can be from any culture, from any race, from any background. Now, having said race, I always balk at that word, because we know there's only one race, the human race. Everybody else within it is a tribe. We all belong to different tribes. And yet that's sort of not really fashionable to say that. And it's the same as the planet that we live on. You know, God never put a ruler down and a pen and put lines in it and said, you know, thou shalt not cross over that line, because that you know, that belongs to somebody else, and so on and so forth. God did not carve the world up into separate nations, regardless of what some of the old scriptural texts tell us. We all live on this world together, and we'd be best advised really to respect that and other people. And perhaps if we could only grasp that, which spiritualists do grasp, you know, there wouldn't be this dreadful poverty and underprivilege and starvation and illness and you know, dreadful living conditions that we see, you know, almost daily on our television screens. You know, there's always something going on, and people living in absolute dire situations that we can only wonder at. And yet, you know, if some of our wealth was distributed in their direction, it would solve it. It would cure it. What I like best as well at the moment is an advert for vegetables. Have you seen it? They say eat 1 plate of vegetables a day to help save the planet. And I think, well, that's a really good thing. You know, we all have to do one little thing. So perhaps if we all decided to eat 1 plate of veg, I know it would do the farmers up here a world of good. Yeah. Because here where we live, in Littleport, of course, it's nearly all arable land. So we grow loads of vegetables and flowers too. But some people do eat flowers. But certainly a plate of vegetables would help the economy up here as well. But I just felt that, you know, mediumship is so important. To be a medium is so important. We've got David here tonight, who's going to make that contact and that communication between the spirit world and ourselves living down here. And it's such a wonderful, sacred office. And everybody, male or female or whatever, can all develop their own mediumship. Which I totally recommend, because it gives you that wider view. You know, as spiritualists, we have this wider view of the world, and we know that this is not all there is either. And we're able to help so many people just by speaking with them, giving them that confidence that they are spirit themselves, that they can connect with other spirit. Whether in the physical or without of the physical, and it makes sense of all those wonderful stories that you hear. You know, all those biblical texts, all the scriptures that are ever written are all full of spiritualist phenomena, and we can recognize that as spiritualists. And just because other people disagree with us doesn't mean to say we are wrong. Does it? And you know, we've made great strides really in the little while that modern spiritualism has been around, and our mediumship too has been more and more recognized even through this lockdown situation, because so many people have been reached through social media, online, through the internet and on the World Wide Web. And worldwide it is too. And even as spiritualists, we understand that web. You know, we understand we're all living in a web. You know, it's just marvelous. And mediumship is the absolute greatest gift, I think. And those who practice mediumship should be encouraged. And, you know, whether they're wonderful mediums, not bad mediums, or pretty awful mediums, as long as they're getting something from the spirit world that they can pass on to the next person who may be in need of a message or a communication, so be it, I say. And, you know, practice makes perfect, you know. And if people keep practicing their mediumship, even if they're not too good to start with, they invariably get better. They must get better, mustn't they? A bit like athletes, you know, as long as they've got the, you know, the determination to succeed. And there are all those psychic tools that people go to for a bit of divination. The cards and the crystals, and even, dare I say, the pendulum, and the twigs. That shake, and all sorts of stuff like that. As long as you take all that with a pinch of salt, it's fine. But the finest way of getting an answer to anything, life, the universe, and everything, is to be a medium, to have that communication skill between yourself and the world of spirit, and to stay with it, and to tune your consciousness up so that you can actually meet those wonderful beings in the world of spirit who come forward to communicate and contact us and give us messages of upliftment, and tell us where to get off quite often as well. So I'll leave you with that thought. It's just that mediumship was uppermost in my mind, because last night, as you know, I was the medium for a service, and I hadn't done that for ages and ages, as Reverend Nick will know. It was just such a wonderful experience to be able to give people that communication, and know that they were enjoying that, and it was so lovely to bring loved ones close. When people think that they have lost them, it is just marvelous, and I think that everybody who undertakes that work should be encouraged. And I'm pleased to see that with the end of lockdown nearing, that the churches will open again, and I'm sure that we'll get many, many more people in our congregation than from before. I'm sure that we will get more and more people in where perhaps the Orthodox churches aren't, and I shall not gloat over that. But I say God bless you, and very, very best wishes, David, for your mediumship tonight. I know that people are looking forward, and I know that Hannah is ready for the last person who's going to receive a message with Bully, and we'll have a lovely evening, I'm sure, everybody. So there, I hope that's a little something to think about. And Reverend Nick, of course, you are a very good medium too, and you've been serving people through lockdown, haven't you? And
in actual fact, I think I've done more mediumship since the lockdown than beforehand, because at least I could literally just sit here and do it and then go to bed.
Absolutely,
yes.
And the less said about that, the better. And don't forget to take your pajamas off and put trousers on, dear, before you stand up. Take your pajamas off.
This is the funny thing. Everyone at home is like, "Oh, we're gonna miss Chateau del Nick and the Boudoir del Brown." They don't know what I'm actually wearing from the waist down. So,
no, but you see, if we're psychic, we can guess.
Well, I'm planning on the last service it being I'm going to stand up for everybody and reveal the tutu that I wear, which will be a sight for everybody's sore eyes. But no, thank you, Lynn. It's always appreciative that you come on and share with us, and mentioning you, as Spirit do influence, mentioning the worldwide following of which this small provincial village, albeit the biggest parish boundary in England, but this tiny little village church has had one such person who is of international flavour, is of course Matthew Stapley, who's been making comments. Hello, Matt, all the way over in Canada. Good to see you. I have good news, everybody, peeps. He is coming back on and will be serving us for what should very well be our last service in my bedroom. So, that's something to put down in the diary. There's a couple of surprises coming as well. One of them might be a shock, I don't know. But there is a surprise coming, because there's one medium that we used to have service quite a bit, who has not served us since we've been online. So we're working on him, but more news in the future. But as for everything else, Lynn, as ever, thank you very much, my darling, and we will see you later on. God bless, though. Well, it's so nice to be able to talk to without mute, unmute, mute, unmute. It's an easier conversation, I think. Although having said that, I know plenty of people that wish that I had a mute button. So I won't dally too long, because now, David, we have our reading. Obviously you are aware, but for those that are watching the first time, one of the things that we like to do differently here at Littleport, I haven't seen anybody else do it, but I'm sure there are people that do it because it came from Spirit. But we don't have the reading and then the address. We have the address and then the reading, just so that we can demonstrate that Spirit are in control of everything. And as Alan was mentioning before the service, there's usually a pretty darn good flow, because they know what they're doing, even if we think we're in charge. So, Reverend Alan, are you there?
I am. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for those words, Reverend Lynn. Tonight's reading, I hope, is very uplifting. It certainly was to me. I got up this morning not feeling too good with myself for whatever reason. And I read this, and I just had to read it tonight. End of story. You know, it was one of those that Spirit give you what you need, not what you want. And it's called "Keep on Smiling," and it's by Alexandra Schiesser, which I would suspect is somewhere out Greece or that area. The poet, and it is copyrighted, so I had to mention her or him. Anyway, I digress. If at times you feel you want to cry, and life seems such a trial, above the clouds there's a bright blue sky, so make your tears a smile. As you travel on life's way, with its many ups and downs, remember, it's quite true to say, one smile is worth a dozen frowns. Among the world's expensive things, a smile is very cheap. And when you give a smile away, you get one back to keep. Happiness comes at times to all, but sadness comes unbidden. And sometimes a few tears must fall among the laughter hidden. So when friends have sadness on their face and troubles round them piled, the world will seem a better place, and all because you smiled. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alan. Yes, absolutely true. I've always believed in the power of happiness and laughter, and you know, if you've ever seen me work, you know that I allow their sense of humor to come through, because I haven't got one. Thanks for agreeing with that, Dole. But no, seriously, and the fact that it does tie in with what Lynn was saying about, you know, mediumship helping friends, and having mediums friends who help people, and getting that information for you and keeping yourself moving forward, even the ups and downs, including a mountain, which I'm sure will be mentioned in a closing prayer. So once again, we know that Spirit are looking after us and keeping us flowing. So thank you very much for that, Alan. Wonderful reading. And I know that you will be sharing it with everyone a little bit later on at some point online.
It may be tomorrow, because I'm having problems with this one, sort of formatting it to be able to put across.
Yeah, no worries. I don't think people are too upset about it being a 24-hour delay, mate. Because once the service is over, they can just jump to about 30 minutes and listen to you reading it beautifully again. So there you go, friends. If you can't wait for it to be posted, the first thing is tough. Second thing is it will be up eventually. And third thing is, around about 30 minutes in the video, when it's over, you can listen to Alan read you to sleep with it. You can put it on a permanent loop and have the voice of Reverend Alan giving beautiful words, drifting you off to sleep. Now, there's a thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have to say that. I will say this much. Your signal's brilliant today. because the detail of your picture is much better than it has been for weeks. So we're really pleased to be able to see you properly.
Oh, okay.
So the booster
there's
must
always
be
a good
doing
side
something.
to everything.
The booster must be doing something right.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, earlier on, I came on and it was awful, wasn't it, David? And I had to move rooms, and just moving rooms has improved it greatly. So, you know,
Bless you.
have
Good.
a good night, everybody.
You too, my friend, and we'll see you a bit later on.
Okay, will do.
God bless. Well, and then it was just us two again, mate. Well, and the wonderful thing about this is that we can do something special for healing because it's that time. So bear in mind, David, this is your 2-minute warning. We will be starting the mediumship after the healing. I believe. I don't think I've forgotten anything again, because that's quite usual too. But when we do our healing, of course, we have our healing video, and it is begun with the healing prayer and ends with the word Amen. And I must remind everybody, healing is one of the most wonderful gifts that we can share, but it's also one of the greatest things that we can ask for ourselves. So please, if you are feeling in need, ask away. And so, friends, let's begin, as ever, with that healing prayer. As we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends and to ask that you send out your healing thoughts. And we ask for that healing to be sent out to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for those we know, those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Amen. Well, thank you, friends, for sending out your healing thoughts. And I know that those who are in need will be receiving that with great gladness and upliftment. And so now, my friends, the time has come. A twofold happiness. Number one, the first happiness, we have David giving his demonstration of mediumship. The second happiness, I shut up for about half an hour, which pleases everybody every time. But I know we're in safe hands, everyone, tonight. And I know that, David, you will work with your friends and helpers and do us the service that we need, which is the upliftment and the proof of survival. And I know you take great pleasure in that, even though your modesty prevents you from taking responsibility for your actions. I have to remind you, dear boy, that we also have personal responsibility. And when people are a little bit modest about it, not only is that a good thing, don't get me wrong, but I have to say, you know, you chose to be that vessel and that conduit. And that's not an easy choice to make, I know. So more power to your elbow, dear, including the one that had the jab in it. So now we will find your first recipient. As ever, I will... Sorry, dear boy?
I just said thank you very much.
Oh, bless you. You're welcome. You know, people have realised by now that I speak as I find, you know, and it's important to recognise people's efforts, I think. So I will go in order of arrival because that's how I tend to do it, to keep it fair. And the first person in my list is Sharon. Are you there?
I am. Hello.
Hey, we have signal. Everything's working. Everything's wonderful. David, this is Sharon. Sharon, this is David. I'm
Hi,
out of here. See you in a bit.
Yeah, thank you very much. I know Nick is in the background. So Sharon, we haven't met before, haven't we? I can't recall anyway. So you had private readings before or a reading before. So what is really important to me is really say yes, no, I don't know. If you can't take it, please just say so. Should you not understand, and this is for all the other recipients as well, should I say something that is not understood, please let me know. I'm not offended. My surname indicates that I'm not from England, so sometimes I invent words, and that's fine, okay? So let's have a look who we have. So normally, to everybody who is watching, I will work a bit differently. I never actually go directly, so that's a bit of a challenge for me here, but who doesn't like challenges? Correct, Nick? It's really nice. So when I am attuning into the power, I all of a sudden, not actually all of a sudden, it's coming very, very gentle. So I know that the person that I have with me, it's a very gentle, but I also know that, do you understand, Sharon, the Father in the world of spirit, please?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Because all of a sudden he stepped in, but I know he's not. There is like two people. There's a lady as well who's very gentle of nature, very, very supportive. Now I have to say, whereas before when you grew up, she was not quite that supportive in nature. Or I don't feel you had the closest. Would you understand Father's mother in the world of spirit, who you knew, but there wasn't this closeness? It wasn't like, oh, I want to spend time there, I want to be there. Would you understand that, Sharon?
Yes.
And what is really interesting here as well, because the way she approaches, because she was actually first, and then Father steps in as a support net for her. So I also know from her personality, and it makes me a bit smile as such, it's like very insecure in how to communicate with people, because when she was in life, she would demand of you how to behave in her environment, what to do. So you would have had chores when you were around her, and this kind of personality. Would you remember that, please?
No, not necessarily. No.
Okay, because there is something that she. Let me put it differently, because I'm beating around the bush. Somehow I'm beating around the bush here, and this is within this energy. So I know that there is a clumsiness to communication with her. There is a clumsiness with your dad. There is a strength, but there is a strength that goes beyond the communication. It is like with your dad, I am here, I am present. So you would have, if he was around, you would have known that he was here, but he not always had to share or interact people. Would you understand that with your character of your dad?
Right, hold on a minute. My dad's not passed, but he's never been present in my life.
Oh, but because I asked you if you had dad in the world of spirit. That's what
Sorry.
I'm asking.
So did I understand father in the spirit? Sorry, I didn't realise that was what you meant.
Oh, okay.
No, my father's not on the other side.
Okay, your father is still here, but you understand the clumsiness of communication. There's not knowing how to communicate. That.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, but here though, not in the spirit.
Well, that's okay. But you would. Can I ask? Did you know your grandmother father's side?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Because there is this. I have to give it. Sorry that I thought that your dad was in the world of spirit. Glad he's not. So
Well, not that I know of, anyway.
Okay, no, that's good. I don't want to indicate, but I want to talk about things that weren't spoken about, secrets, because I feel this with his mom very strongly, with your grandmother. There were things that she would not discuss. There was things that she was very stern about. There was things that I don't really gain emotional access to her. Would you understand that with her personality, the relationship you had?
I don't think this is for me, David, because
Okay.
my grandmother was a very good communicator, very warm, loving.
Okay. Yeah.
So this could be somebody else.
Okay. Help, Nick.
Nick. He's hiding.
I just need to because I know what I have here. Okay. That's funny. Right, okay, Sharon. Give me a minute.
You can't go to the bathroom in here, can you? Sorry for the delay.
I need to understand the information. Anybody of the other recipients understand what I just said? They heard me, didn't they?
Yeah, they would have heard you. Could you give me a wave if you can understand this, ladies and gentlemen?
I want to have a lady, father's mother in the world of spirit, non-communicative, emotionally difficult. Daniela. Sorry, Sharon. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I messed Nick up. I have to say.
That's all right. I don't mind. We will bring Sharon back because I'm sure Spirit will be waiting to come through for her somewhere. But it's obvious that Danielle's dad's a little bit more forceful. So we'll bring you back in a sec, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Sharon. Daniela, do you understand everything that I said?
Yes, I've got a dad in spirit. I never met my grandma, but she's in spirit. But there was a lot of secrets. That's why she wasn't in my life.
Okay. Did you know or did you hear stories about your grandmother and her personality? Because I have to say, your mom must have had a real problem with her.
I don't speak to my mum no more because of this reason.
Oh, I'm not happy. I'm not happy about that, but I'm happy that you can take it. Okay.
Yes, I went to I was there when my grandma died in the hospital, but I never got to see her because she was not in a good state to go look at.
Don't feed the medium, Daniela. The medium is telling you. Just yes, no, or I don't know. Okay.
I knew of her. She was
Okay, because there is a bit of a difficulty,
and my dad's in spirit too.
Okay, well. That's not very good, but it is good. I hope you can understand that. Okay. Glad I got you, because it's so clear, because this grandma that you never that there is so much that she couldn't change within her life. She could not become a different person, I have to say. And even with that, I have to say, is really what strikes me here is he must have felt kind of guilty, which is a strange thing to say, as he would have been the reason why things went how do you say that?
He was like the piggy in the middle.
Thank you very much. So that makes sense. And I know that the world of spirit never tells you what to do. So I know the easiest way, and cop-out here would say forgiveness and moving on. It's not easy. Forgiveness is never easy, I have to say. Sometimes you have to just live life. And what I feel here is like, this is kind of what is reflected within your family. People had to start living their own lives because they couldn't just one person changing is not enough. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, I do understand fully.
And therefore, because there is also very strong stubbornness within your family, I have to say with you too. I know that because your grandmother is just making me aware of, so it's not a psychic reading here, it's grandmother. Your stubbornness helped you to survive. Your stubbornness helped you to bring stability back into your life. Does that make sense? Because what is related to you and your family is a lot of drama, but also drama that really moves back into the past here. Very deep rooted. So sometimes we just have to live life. I know that there
all
are
those little ones
exactly
from like the grandparents and all that all that drama. We now suffer as the grandchildren, the children, and it goes on and on and on.
Yes. So the point is what? Yes. So that's what I said. It is
chain reaction.
Far fetching. Okay, it fetches far, but also to understand here that. And it's a very easy thing to say. It was so deep-rooted that there was not a way out of it. It couldn't. So it wasn't because people didn't want to change. There was no possibility for change. So I'm coming back to your father because there is a. I hope you can. I'm feeling something before he passed. He had problems with speaking. I have to say, it's like something affected my throat. It's like this kind of a bit. I'm getting a bit tired here because the heart, the pump didn't work as properly. I'm not saying it was a heart attack, but the heart was definitely weakening, and then it touched upon the lungs, and then when it touched the lungs, it touched the kidneys, and it was like a failure of everything.
Liver failure. So once his livers went, his breathing was going. He couldn't breathe. He couldn't talk. He was sedated.
Thank you very much. Because there is such a love for you here from your dad. So in one way, and I have to say, in one way, it makes me, in your eyes, your dad was a hero. Yeah. If you had the choice to side with someone, you would side with that. I have to say,
100%,
100%, yes. And
never got the chance.
So. In a way, it's like it makes me, because there is a bond and we can't take this bond away. Okay, I know, or it feels to me that it is a bit, communication is difficult with mom. Okay, you said that, but it is really difficult. But it's also very difficult that, is it correct? Because it makes me, you are very independent in your belief system and how you think. And mom is kind of controlling in nature. Do you understand that too? Yes. And that's like the Clash of Titans. I want to bring in the Clash of Titans here. So I know your dad would have loved those old movies.
My mum was very controlling.
Thank you very much. So it feels like those old movies, like black and white movies with Hercules and whatsoever is something significant here, and it makes me happy. It doesn't mean, and this is what I just feel is really important here. It doesn't mean, Daniela, that just because it is not in harmony that we can't have a harmonious life. Okay? But it is also time to it is not forgiving that because that I know personally, I know that is the most difficult one, but it's getting at peace with and being happy. You see, that is very important, because it feels also important that, am I correct that you must have children?
Yes, and one of them, you've just said the name.
Did I? What did
Harmony.
I say? No.
Yeah, she's called Harmony.
And I go home now. Thank you very much. See, I didn't even realize that. So there is, but there is. You see, there is just a forward, and there is a breaking of chains, and for your children to, despite it was as it was, it can just be harmonious. So as well as, you see. So it is finding the peace within to move on the way you are.
I'm hoping I've brought the chain. I'm hoping my kids can have a nice family with seeing both parents and having a nice life.
Okay. Well, that's very good. But it is like, because that system needs that peace of mind. It needs the peace. And that's why Grandma came in so hesitantly, I have to say. incredible how she communicates, actually. Incredible how it feels to me that she must have changed dramatically. I have it in life. It wasn't the easiest person to live with, I have to say. Not even for your dad, but for your dad, she was kind of everything. I hope you understand that. She was everything, and she would have.
He had to choose between my mum and her.
Yes,
and he only chose my mum to stay with me because I was his daughter.
Yes, but I have to say, if I move, thank you very much for feeding me again, because it would trigger my own opinion. So I don't want that. She acknowledges that she wasn't the easiest person to live with. And he acknowledges that his mom was everything. So in a way, for your mom, it wasn't easy either, you see. So and because you had those beautiful relations, that I feel that it's like he was everything to you, you were everything to him.
Yep.
It was even harder for mom, I have to say. So yes, thank you very much for working with me.
No, you're welcome, and thank you.
Daniela. So say hi to Harmony.
I'm sorry for my dad pushing in.
They do that. They do it, don't they, David?
As soon as you said it, I was like, oh my God, I could take every single bit of this.
Absolutely. And you know what, that'll teach me for not going before. Absolutely amazing, love it. And the comments are coming through both in the private chat room and on the comments.
That was, you know what, I will tell you 100% everything you've said was absolutely oh my God, I'm even gobsmacked.
Okay, thank you very much.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. So
thank you.
Cheers, Daniel.
Sorry for Sharon, though. It's like, oh.
Well, she's got another. We've got another 2 chances to get someone through for us. She's still with us, making comments in the private chat room. So, she hasn't run away. But that's brilliant, Danielle. Thank you for coming on, darling, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
So I will bring the next person up on the off chance that it's for them, but I will stick around just in case I need to swap videos again.
Yes, please don't go to the toilet.
I promise I'll hold it. I'll have to get a bucket or something, won't I, for the next 3 weeks?
I don't care how you do it. Just do it.
Brilliant. Right. Well, let's see. Mo, are you there?
Hi, Mo.
Hello. Hi.
Hey.
I hope you're okay. So you know what I need of you? Yes, no, and don't know. Okay, that's very important. Okay. If I send someone into the heavens, please forgive me. But sometimes I do this. I have to say. Let me have a look. I know that I have a person here with me that has problems with the lower abdominal. There's lower abdominal problem. Do you understand that, please?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I don't really know who it. Well, I feel this belongs to a gentleman. Do you understand that too?
Yeah, I do.
And it's a real pain, and I know this is an illness that was longer. So I don't know who he is to you at the moment, because it's like I have to work for the information. I'm glad you can understand. I know that there is a closeness, but there is not a closeness either. So this is very interesting how that works. Do you understand that too, please?
Yeah, I do.
And you see, what happened was it started in the bowel somehow, but then it moved upwards. So I know something went. Do you understand if I say, because in the first place I felt it was stomach, but then it's pancreatic. It was pancreatic cancer or something that's touched there. Do you understand that too?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Isn't that interesting that he likes to talk about his illness? Because I know that when he was in life, this gentleman, he would not speak about personal issues, or he would not speak. I don't feel that he would share his emotions or things that were important to him. There is a privacy with him. Do you understand that too, Mo, please?
Yeah, I do.
So in a way, talking about his illness, and I feel, I have to say, I'm feeling sick, so I know it really progressed very quickly all of a sudden here.
Yeah.
It's really quickly downhill. It's really nice. I do, and I hope you can understand that, because I do feel that his mind is very analytical. He's a very intelligent mind here. And what is interesting when he speaks about or shows me or makes me aware of that mind is like, you have kind of a same mind. It's really interesting because you are the thinker as well. You are not the one rushing into anything. You have to take time to think about before you make decisions. Do you understand that, please?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, no, we haven't met before, have we?
No.
I don't know who you are. Because it's really interesting. It's really interesting how there is a likeness in personality with him, because I know also how I speak. I am well spoken, so I pronunciate the words properly, and I take my time when speaking here. It's very interesting, and I have a gentleness with the speech, so I know that when you were together, there is also a connection to him teaching you stuff or explaining you things. Would you understand that?
I'm not sure.
Okay, then give me that back. But Mo, maybe I move to someone else here. Do you understand an uncle in the world of spirit?
Yes, I do.
Do you understand that there was a close connection between this uncle and yourself, please?
Yeah, I do.
And would you also then accept if I say this uncle was kind of influential, but you like to listen to what he had to say?
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? All of a sudden it has shifted because but what is also both gentlemen here, I have to say, but with your uncle there is such a, can I say, hopefully, he's such a nice person.
Yeah.
You know, he's a nice person, not just a gentle person, or he's just a nice person who I like to spend time with and who allows other people to have their space. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's really and what is interesting here when I connect and I just heard him say is like everyone is entitled to have their own space.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels to me that this is very relevant to your life now.
Okay.
So it's about being entitled to, it's like, I hope I can say that. It's very public, I know, but it's all about me, myself. So I know that you are having thoughts, or you must have thoughts about what is next, what would I like to achieve, what is the next step in my life. I'd like to achieve something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know what? He's a gentle achiever. Whatever he did in life, this is gentle achieving. It's not rushing into it. It is living life and being so there's a philosophy to this gentleman as well, I have to say. I feel with him as well, it's like he is here and then he's gone. He's here and then he's gone. Do you accept that as well?
Yeah, I do.
So in a way, it's like, and you know, it's really like, and it might sound a bit harsh, but for him it was like I didn't mind to go so quietly. He didn't mind. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
So I know that he was at peace when he passed.
Good.
And that seems to be important. So he didn't mind. And you know, with him is when he said what he wanted to say, he said what he wanted to say, and he would just stop speaking. And this is what he's doing right now. So he came, he told you, it's all about taking your own time, allowing yourself to make your own decisions here, but also to move gently into the next. I hope that helps.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brilliant. Bless you. And hey Mo, you all right?
Hello, not bad.
Good. Nice to see you again. It's been a while.
You? Yeah.
Bless you. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you got your message, and I really do hope it helps. And you know, good things to come, I'm sure, my darling. Good things to come, I'm sure. I know a certain young lady who'll definitely be keeping her eye on you from upstairs as well. So, God bless you, darling. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Oh, I nearly removed myself then, which wouldn't have been too much of a problem. Right. Now is the time in our service when we get ready for our final message. Now, of course, having been to Littleport yourself personally, you will have seen this done more than once. But of course, as we get... Yeah, Sharon will be the last message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sharon's coming back. Sharon, this is your 2-minute warning, Sharon. You are coming back. But yes, in order to introduce our final message, we have, of course, our little tradition where we remind everybody that if you would like to receive a message on one of our online services, you can, of course, submit your name. And when we have more than the names that we need for one particular week, we raffle them. And of course, when we have a raffle at Littleport, the final item that's pulled from the raffle is referred to something. And I can't remember what we call it. Hannah, what is it? Bully's special prize indeed. For all those that watch Bullseye, they will know exactly what we're talking about. For those that are far too young, like David, to remember Bullseye, Bully's special prize is on Bully's prize board on a game show called Bullseye. And it's a tradition that we had, of course, that hopefully will be reinstated for an actual raffle with prizes soon, dear.
Yeah.
I bet you're excited about that, aren't you?
Yeah.
But Henry will be annoyed because he won't be able to watch you do it. Yes, yeah. Oh, he's gone. He's bored of my voice. Well, my darling, thank you ever so much, and we will see you in a bit. Bye. Oh, I love it. So, Sharon, this is your chance. This is your time. Come back. There she is. She's clicked her camera back on. Are you there, darling?
I am.
Excellent. See you soon.
Hi, Sharon. Thank you so much. First but least, it's a bit the opposite round, isn't it?
This happened last week, so don't worry.
well, I was just going to say this must be something that you know about. It's like looking after people and being a bit pushed towards the back. Would you understand that, please, Sharon?
I think so. Yeah, it's certainly proven that way.
I'm really sorry, but it just shows how wonderful and spiritual your energy is to allow all the other ones to come in. So let's make that happen. Sharon, when I now tune into and it's really interesting, is like I know that people talk about you supporting other people in life. Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
Yes, and it's really interesting. Is like she looked so well after me. So I know there is a lady in the world of spirit that you would have looked after. Do you understand that, please, Sharon?
Possibly, yes.
Yes, I just need to unfold it a little bit because it's like there is such a gratitude for many people. So I wouldn't be astonished if you had a job looking after people and making them comfortable. Do you understand that too, please?
Sort of. I do work for the NHS, but I'm not a nurse.
Well, it doesn't. Well, yes. Okay. It's no problem. But it's for me, it feels here there is a lot of gratitude. So whatever you do with the NHS, and I didn't know that, did I? It's
No.
like it goes beyond of doing just a job. It is having a good word and empathy for other people. Do you understand that, please?
Yes.
So this is what I need to get out of the system first, because seems to be that you have touched many lives throughout your lives, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I am aware of, do you understand and accept that you had a friend who is in the world of spirit, please?
I've got many friends in the world of spirit.
Okay. So let me work, because that's what I say. It feels like there is a gathering of so many, and it's like, who is first? Who is first? So the one that I want to talk about is like, it seems we are going back in time, and it seems because Charleston, this music, this just struck me. So I don't want to go into the time of Charleston, but what I want to do is like, do you know those fancy parties, disguising parties with different, where you dress up?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I seem to know that, or I feel that there is a memory that with the lady friend that you had, who is now in the world of spirit, that we're going back in time. I must say, I feel that it was in your 20s or 30s, very, very early on, where you had, because it feels to me we shared going out together.
Not necessarily out, as we call out, but yeah, I used to go around with an elderly lady. Yes.
Okay, please. I just know we are out. I just know, and there is music. I have to say, because this what I want to have is a laughter. What I want to have. Do you understand? Is there connections to bingo?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Like, oh, all of a sudden I see the pink. What I don't know how they are called, but it's like. So I have memories to bingo here and fun times and laughter. Do you understand that, please?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. I'm so happy. And this lady that I have here with me, I know that she's very she is very looked after, or she's looking after her very well. So I know I want to have my hair properly permed or set, I must say. I am properly dressed, not fancy, but I like when it matches. I hope you understand that too.
Yeah, that's not the same person, but yes, I do understand that.
Okay, because now she is communicating, the ones with the beautiful hair. And I feel that although I know she got older, so I know the fullness of her hair she lost. But I know that she was still very proud of her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And what she also brings to me is I have to say, I saw it as a pearl necklace, but it's very subtle. It is very, very, very nice, but she would have chosen pieces. She liked quality.
Yes.
Good.
This lady, not the first lady, but the second lady, yeah.
The second lady, I'm with the second lady, yes, okay, with the because she brings stability. So I know whatever relationship that you had with her, she brought you stability as well. So can you understand that, please, as well?
I think so. Yes. If you mean that she showed me a way of future happiness, then yes, I think I know.
I take that one because it's about stability. It's about stability that she brings. And future happiness is stability, I have to say. Because it feels to me that I am very comfortable in her. I'm very comfortable. She's very private, though, I have to say. She's very private. She would not come and come in front of Facebook and YouTube and whatsoever to just spread personal things. You know, there is a humbleness with this lady, and humanitarian. She would have loved people. She would have looked after people. She would have respected people. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? And there is, when I talk about that now, it's like she's a believer. She believes in God. She has morals. She has ethics, and she has a religious belief, I have to say.
Yes, she was.
Yes, and. Do you know what? I just hear her giggling. So I know she had a very distinctive laughter here.
Yes, she did.
And I can't really. Oh, is that already my time? And what is so beautiful here, Sharon, and it is an acknowledgement. So everybody else comes in. You did many things, and you were many things, or are many things for many people. Do you understand that? Do you accept that? And sometimes we're not receiving the thanksgiving here on the earth plane, but I know that the world of spirit is applauding and celebrating to bring you their appreciation. I hope you can take that.
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
So there is actually the most beautiful message that you can ever have is everything you do, the kindness you spread, even if you can't see an instant coming back of it, is acknowledged within the world of spirit. And the last lady is so happy for you that you have this stability.
Yeah, I'll get that.
You take that.
Yeah, I do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So it's like, I know it's as simple to say, but it's blowing a kiss. She would have blown you a kiss.
Yeah.
She would.
Thank you.
And she brings a butterfly too, so that's relevant as well.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Very
you.
much love. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
There's one thing that I will always say about the world of spirit, Sharon, and that is that patience is rewarded. And I know it just has been. So thank you for coming on, and I'll let you get off the screen now, and I'll see you in a bit. David, thank you. Do you know what? We've been doing this since last March, and every week something new happens, and I have never ever seen the private chat so busy as it is tonight, applauding your work from those recipients. So before you do disappear anywhere, I do suggest that you have a look at the private chat, because if you don't, you'll never be able to see it again. But it's there for you to have a look at, and it's, you know, such a wonderful praise for such a wonderful demonstration of mediumship. And you know, I know you. I know you said that you like a challenge. Well, I personally think challenge passed. So thank you very, very much from not just myself, but everyone at home and everyone who received a message. And, you know, when I speak on this thing and I can see those down in the studio beaming back up at me, quite often when I say something, they'll either giggle or laugh, but it's not very often that I make a statement that everyone sits there going, and they just did. So David, absolutely brilliant. Thank you, mate. God bless you and your friends and helpers. And don't just take my word for it. Let's see what Reverend Lynn has to say, because she'll have to say a word or two.
Oh, well done, David.
Thank you.
That was very, very difficult. I think Littleport has a reputation for being rather difficult sometimes, but you overcame that original problem that you encountered, and it was wonderful. And what I'd suggest is that perhaps Reverend Nick, if you would copy, you know, if you copy the private chat, if it's possible, and put it onto a Word Word document.
Actually. Yeah, I will
and
see
then
if I
and
can.
then yeah, and then of course David can have that
Thank you. I just read it, so thank you very much for everybody and for your support. It's always lovely to be so supported, though.
Well, the thing is this, that we support good mediums, David, and that we do not support ones who are not.
Thank you very much.
And we used to use a little traffic light system, you see, like a lot of churches, and it's red, yellow, and green. And red means by the side of a medium's name meant do not book again. Yellow meant not bad, so possibly book again. And green was definitely book again and again. And you definitely get a green light from us. And it was very nice to hear, very nice to experience that lovely communication that we rely upon to prove that life is eternal. And it was very, very good to see that Sharon received her upliftment that she needed at this time, because I also indulged in a very, very private message with Reverend Nick to say what I thought about her. And in fact, the message that you gave her coincided pretty well with what I was saying to Reverend Nick about that. And it was really, really good that you picked up on everything for her. And I know that she would be delighted, because, I know that there was one lady in spirit who was definitely, wanting to be noticed and to let her know that she was around. And I know that you did that. So it was absolutely excellent. So I'm looking forward, perhaps, David, to seeing you in the village hall when we all get back together again, and you'll have this little sort of green light, the little green stamp by your name.
Thank you very much.
So yes, thank you very much on behalf of everybody at Littleport.
Yes, definitely. And in actual fact, our minister in spirit, Reverend Wendy, who I know booked you numerous times back when we were in the hall, would have been very, very pleased with you. She was being a bit naughty, though, because a certain young lady who describes her as Nan was on tonight. But I think she was getting out of the way, letting others come through. But I know that, look, let me put it this way, being slightly mediumistic, Wendy championed new mediums, names that we'd never had before, and she always brought back those that got the green light, which is why you came to the hall numerous times, David. Okay. And I know that Wendy is a champion of those that need support, strength, help, and encouragement, which is probably some sort of message for a certain young lady as well. So through your presence, I'm even able to pass on a message or two from my first ever medium secretary here at this church. And of course, I know for a fact that Mum, who is our latest medium secretary, will be in touch to make sure that we have bookings for you later in the year, absolutely in the flesh. It's not going to be the same going back into the hall. There will be faces that we will miss. But the most important thing is that we go back into that hall and carry on the work and do the things that they would do when they were here. So I promise to bring an A to Z map and try and give you directions to places you don't want to go, in the same way that my dad would have done when you came to our church as well. So, absolutely amazing night, David. Thank you so much. And Mum definitely will be putting a green mark by your name.
Thank you very much.
Well, friends, now is the time in our service when we do get ready to make that call that the kitchen is due to be open. My friends, thank you all for joining us. This was to be the last service from home before going back into the hall. However, we're here for another 3 or 4, I think it's 3 more messages. One of them is going to be young Matthew from Canada. There will be another 2 names announced very, very soon. But I've been instructed by Medium Secretary Mum to inform you that there is one medium that usually serves us that hasn't earned his keep since that we've been online. So one of them will be me. Because I was reminded the other day that I haven't served my own church in over a year, which is absolutely forbidden, and Wendy would have rapped my knuckles for it. So one of them will be me. I'll fit in between whoever. But Tony Swindles actually has already volunteered to chair for me because he had that kind of idea himself a few weeks back. So we know that one of them is going to be me, one of them is going to be Matt, and I will let you all know next week who the other one's going to be. But for now, that's the notices over. And my friends, let's all get back up on the platform for our closing prayer. So there's Mo, bless you. Hello, darling. There's Danielle. Hello. Reverend Alan, there he is. Samantha and Hannah. It wouldn't be the same without you. There you are. Let's put it on the widescreen so we can see Sam and Hannah. There we go. So, friends, thank you. Thank you all for joining us at home, whether it be live right now at this very, very moment, and whether it be in the future at some point soon. There are links all over the place. There's even one of them on David. I shared one to David's page. So if you want to catch up and have another look and see just how excellent that demonstration was, just rewind the tape to around about 40 minutes and you can go straight into the messages, and about 7 minutes and you can go straight into Reverend Lynn's address. And about half an hour after that, you can hear Reverend Alan doing his... I'm joking. It was 15 minutes today. You did really well, Reverend Lynn. But 15 minutes after that, you can hear Reverend Alan's reading. But I do love, I just love spiritualism. I love the work that is done in its name. This philosophy, this way of life, this religion, and this force for love, for healing and good that will never, ever end. A bit like one of my addresses. So, friends, let's join together as we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, that web of light that you shine upon each one of us may spread and bind us all together as one race, one family, and one dream. And throughout our days ahead, dear Lord, we make that statement as ever, that we do not ask you to move the mountain, just give us the strength to climb. And until we meet again in your name, we make the statement that everything we do will be in love and truth and light. Amen.
Amen.
Well, friends, again, thank you to the wonderful David and his guides. Thank you to Reverend Lynn, who, as ever and every week, comes on to give inspiration and upliftment. To Alan and your wonderful reading tonight. As ever, we are inspired, sir, and grateful. Danielle and Mo, thank you for joining us. And, of course, Sharon, who's had to nip off. Thank you to you for joining us as well. And it wouldn't be the same without Sam, Hannah, Bully and Henry coming in. They've been here more weeks than I have on the online services. Would you believe that? So that's wonderful. And thank you everyone at home for continuing to support this church, which is your church, and it always will be. So until next week, my friends, we say thank you, good night, God bless. And that statement, as ever, my friends, the kitchen is around the corner, down the stairs, and it's open. So good night and God bless.
Good night.
you.